Hey guys, now everybody dreams about owning a beach house right here in South Carolina until they get hit with the real monthly payment. People are seeing the sunset, the golf carts, the ocean views, the vacation rental money, but what they don't see is the insurance bill, the flood zones, the HOA fees, the salt air damage that I've talked about in many of my videos, and the maintenance that can absolutely wreck your budget if you're not prepared. And here's the crazy part. Sometimes owning a beach house in South Carolina costs way more every month than what people realize. Even the house payment itself can look affordable sometimes. So today, standing right here at Seabrook Island, I'm actually here for my son's wedding today, and so why not a better place to do a beach video? But I'm gonna break down the real cost of owning a beach house right here in South Carolina. And listen, let me put in my bias. Make sure you stay till the end, because I'm also gonna tell you why some people are actually choosing Lake Murray in the Columbia area over the beach. And honestly, there's some really good financial reasons why. And of course, a lot of this is my opinion. I have lived there my entire life. You've heard me talk about Lake Murray. You've heard me talk about Chapin, Lexington, Irmo, some of my favorite places in all of the Columbia area. What's going on, everybody? My name's Chad Dorman, and I help people buy and sell homes right here in South Carolina every single day. Now, on this channel, we actually talk about everything South Carolina real estate. Living here, moving here, retiring here, investing here, and sometimes the stuff nobody wants to tell you about. So listen, if that sounds like your kind of channel, please make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share this with somebody dreaming about buying a home at the beach, and see if they still want to after this video. If you're thinking about moving anywhere in South Carolina, whether that's the beach, Columbia, Charleston, Lake Murray, Greenville, Myrtle Beach, wherever, or shoot me a text, give me a call, email me, better yet, schedule a Zoom call and we can talk face to face. That's the way I love to do it over any other way. And my team and I, we help people all over the state every single day. Now let's get into the real numbers that people forget about when they're buying a beach house. Let's talk about number one. Insurance can be the biggest shock when you're talking about purchasing a beach home. This is the one that gets almost everybody. People find a beach house online. Maybe it's $700,000, maybe it's $1 million. And they think the mortgage is the expensive part. Not all the time. The insurance can absolutely smack you right in the face. At the South Carolina coast, you're not just paying homeowners insurance. There are other things that you may have. You may have to have wind and hail insurance. You may have to have flood insurance. You might have to have Hurricane Hugo insurance, even though it was back in like '89 that happened. You also have to have separate hurricane coverage a lot of times, and sometimes even excess coverage more than that, depending on the area. Depending on where you buy, some people are paying thousands and thousands more per year than they expected. I've seen buyers shocked when their insurance quote came back higher than their own car payment. And if the home's older, that's an elevated risk. If it's closer to the water, elevated risk. Is it in a flood zone? Another elevated risk. And guess what? Insurance companies have been tightening up all over the coastal areas lately. Now, is the South Carolina coast, is it as expensive as it is down in Florida? Not necessarily. That's why we're seeing so many more people from Florida moving up here to South Carolina. Actually, more than just about any other state, if you can believe it or not, because it's getting crowded in Florida. Over the past 5 years, Florida has grown so much more than South Carolina in the exact same amount of time. South Carolina still is the best known secret, which is why Myrtle Beach is one of the #1 places to move in the nation. And people are flocking here to South Carolina coast. Number two, let's talk about flood zones. They matter way more than people think. Not all beach property is created equal. Two houses can literally be on the same street on the coast and have completely different flood insurance costs. That's why you never buy coastal property emotionally. Make sure you have a good agent that knows all this. They know how to look up all of that. So you buy it strategically. And the things you need to know those flood zone maps. You need to know elevation certificates. That's big when it comes to flood insurance and how much you're actually going to pay. Prior flooding history, drainage, insurance claim history, rental restrictions, because one surprise can actually turn your dream house into a money pit really quick. Like I said, make sure you have a good agent that knows this. I don't personally do things right here on the coast, but I know a bunch of agents that do it all the time and they absolutely love it. Number 3 that we're going to talk about, it's this salt air. On the beach, it destroys everything. This is a hidden thing most out-of-state buyers, they just don't think about. Like I said, Myrtle Beach is the #1 place to move in the nation. Charleston ranks right up there too. And Hilton Head is probably the #1 retiree in the nation. And listen, the beach is beautiful, but that salt air is basically like putting your house inside a bag of rust. HVAC systems, they wear out faster. Metal, it corrodes faster. Paint, it fades faster. Exterior maintenance, it happens faster. You even have to worry about some of the erosion going away from your foundation and have that checked out a lot here and there. Now, decking and railings, they can take a beating too. You have to budget for maintenance differently if you're at the beach. This is not the same as owning a house inland. Number 4, those HOA fees. Those pesky HOA fees that can get really wild sometimes. Now, a lot of people, they really don't mind the HOA fees, but at the beach, they're usually a little more if you're wanting all the amenities of the beach. Now, some communities are amazing. They have golf courses, they have pools, they have beach access, security gates, tennis, clubhouses, but all that stuff, it costs money. And sometimes people fall in love with the house before they look at the monthly HOA bill. Now, I've seen beach communities where the HOA fee feels like another mortgage payment. And then on top of that, you may have regime fees, you have resort fees, special assessments, short-term rental fees. So before you buy, you better know the total payment, not just the Zillow payment. I always talk about HOA fees like it's extra vacation money. When you pay your house mortgage payment, you're actually taking that house mortgage payment and it's going against your house. Less money that you owe in purchasing the house. HOA fees, they just go nowhere. It's luxury. It is playing pickleball. It is playing tennis. It is going to the pool. It is going to the clubhouse. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for vacation. That is what a HOA fee is. Now, it also, for certain neighborhoods, it keeps the grass. They have a lot of rules. That's where a lot of people don't like the HOAs, but it's also the amenities. Just keep that in mind when you're looking at homes here at the beach as well. Let's talk number 5, investments, short-term rentals. They're not always the easy money everybody thinks they are. Now, a lot of people think, I'll just Airbnb the property and let it pay for itself. Then I can go vacation on it, block off a week whenever I want. Now, that works great for a lot of people, but there's more work than what a lot of people think. Not every beach town is the same. Some areas are actually tightening the restrictions too. Some HOAs restrict rentals. I know of a buyer one time, not one of my clients, but they bought a rental and then got in there and found out that owner-occupied agency, it had to be a certain amount, and rentals can only be a certain percentage of that, and they couldn't rent it after they bought it for an investment purpose. You've got to watch those things, and you've got to hire somebody as an agent that knows these things. Some communities have those occupancy rules, and some areas have seasonal savings. Now, managing a beach rental remotely, it can become a second job. You can always do a property management company, but that's a percentage, and that cuts into your profits too. You got to figure that in. If you do it yourself, you've got cleaning crews, you've got maintenance, you've got guests, you've got repairs, you've got storm prep, you've got scheduling, you've got furnishings. There's a lot of these things that just people do not think about. So yes, rental income can absolutely help, but it's not the passive money that social media makes it sound like it is a lot of times. Now, if you do it, I know a lot of people that do Airbnbs, they do long-term rentals, and they're making great money. But most of the time when you do those, you've got to do them in bulk. Start with one, hit another, and it works over time. Most people don't have that money to establish that portfolio right off the bat. Think about these things when you go in, especially when it comes with beach properties. In Columbia, Airbnbs, they don't have all these extra fees that beaches do, but beaches figure all that in. And don't forget, if it's an investment property and you already own a home that you're living in South Carolina, you're paying probably 3 times the amount of property taxes on the investment property. Make sure you factor that in as well. Number 6, traffic and tourism. Now, who doesn't like the beach lifestyle? Everybody loves the beach. Give me a thumbs up if you like the beach. I grew up coming to the beach all the time right here in South Carolina, and I love it. Everybody loves the beach in April. Everybody loves the beach in October. But June, July, August, oh, you better like traffic too. You better like waiting in restaurants. Assuredly, if you look at most beach towns' economy, you better like tourism too, because they are here during the peak season. All the way from the spring breakers, drinking and just having a blast, all the way down to the retirees that are here on vacation as well. Because some beach towns in South Carolina absolutely explode during the peak season. And for some people, that energy is absolutely amazing. But for other people, especially retirees, they eventually start looking for somewhere quieter. If you go check my video talking about the best places, I think it was like 7 best places to retire here in South Carolina. For my personal opinion, one of the things, the reasons that I did that and the towns that I chose were because they're a little quieter. They're that small town feel, and they're less touristy, more like the old beach coastal towns. Go check it out. It's actually pretty good. For my own opinion anyway. I help people move from out of state, within state. I help them move to places all over South Carolina, and I help them find agents all over South Carolina. Agents I know personally, agents I know that do business just like I do business on a personal level and actually love the client and treat the client like their own family. But honestly, this is where a lot of people start discovering the Columbia and the Lake Murray area. Did you think this whole video was going to be about the beach? I personally do business. Yes, I refer a lot out all over the state and all over the nation, but I personally do business in the Midlands of South Carolina. That's where I was born and raised. Been there 52 years out of my life, my entire life. I got to get my sales pitch in for my area, and that is the Columbia and the Lake Murray area. Because here's the thing, you can still get the water lifestyle, you can still get the boating, the marinas, the restaurants, the fishing, the lakefront homes, the sunsets, but it comes with a lot of things different. It comes with lower insurance costs, it comes with lower maintenance, it comes with less tourism traffic and easier parking, more house for your money, and lower property taxes in many cases. And you're still only about 2 hours from the beach. And you don't have to deal with, when you go into salt water, you go in the ocean, you don't have to deal with that salt all over you. You can actually enjoy that lake water, that nice cool water. Listen, a lot of people are even moving into the upstate of Greenville. I've got like 4 or 5 referrals up there right now. But here's the thing, those are cold lakes up there. Even clear, it's pristine. Lake Murray, it's a little warmer down here. The water's incredible, and it's one of the top sporting and fishing lakes in the entire nation. Now, that's what a lot of people love about living in the Midlands. You can wake up on the lake Saturday morning, and you can still be on the beach by lunchtime. And unlike some coastal markets, Columbia still gives you option. You can still buy entry-level homes, luxury homes, lakefront property, acreage. You can be on a golf community. We still have a lot of golf right here in Columbia as well. New construction, it's all there. And compared to a lot of beach markets, your money stretches a whole lot further. So that's my great sales pitch for the Midlands. But again, if it's not for you, with that location and everything that the Midlands has to offer and all my other videos, I will help you find an agent anywhere. Call me. People ask me all the time, if it were you personally, what would you do? Now, if I had unlimited money, I'd have a house on the lake and I'd have one at the beach. I would have one in the mountains. I would have one in California. I would have money. I don't have Michael Jordan or Oprah Winfrey money. If you're talking smartest overall balance of lifestyle, cost, investment, and everyday living, honestly, the Columbia and Lake Murray area really makes sense, and they're hard to beat because you still get great weather, water lifestyle, lower stress, central location, more affordability, less salt in your bathing suit. You can still take weekend trips to Charleston, Hilton Head, Myrtle Beach, or anywhere else in the state. That central location is one of the biggest hidden advantages of living in the Midlands of Columbia, South Carolina. Hopefully this video gave you a real look at the true cost of owning a beach house in South Carolina. Am I trying to discourage you from owning a beach house in South Carolina? No, I just wanted to figure I'm at the beach. Might as well tell you a little bit about it. Not to scare you away from it, because honestly, beach living can be absolutely incredible. But I always tell people, don't buy the dream, buy the lifestyle and the payment that makes sense long-term for you. Now, if you're thinking about moving anywhere in South Carolina, whether that's the beach, Columbia, Lake Murray, Charleston, Greenville, Myrtle Beach, wherever, my team and I would absolutely love to help. Give me a call, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom call with me. Like I always say, I love talking face to face. We get to know each other a little bit better, and I can share my screen with you and show you maps. I put you on a search. I can do all kinds of things. And listen, if you got true value from this video, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody that's actually thinking about moving to the beach. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I actually got a wedding to go to, and I can't wait to see my youngest son actually marry the love of his life.